be a police officer in Britain today, you'd need to have your head examined. You probably know by now that for the last week or so, Britain has been terrorised by an underclass of welfare-dependent, drug-addled, criminal scum who've been allowed to run riot in the streets because the police haven't been allowed to do their job and protect the public. The media is full of speculation about why it happened and what is the root cause. Well, that's easy. The root cause is stupidity, a complete lack of imagination, a stunted, feral view of the world that amounts to self-inflicted moral and mental disablement, and it's a direct product of an entitlement culture that rewards idleness, encourages victimhood and compensates criminals. That's the root cause, and it happened because there was nobody there to stop it, and because the people who did it know damn well that if they are caught they won't be properly punished. That's why it happened. It also happened because we don't have enough police officers in Britain. They cost money, unfortunately, and many of the ones we do have not been properly trained in riot control because that costs money. It happened because police are not allowed to deal with rioting effectively in Britain using water cannon, tear gas, rubber bullets, the kind of thing other riot police take for granted. Also, individual officers have learned from experience that if they lay a hand on a rioter, they're likely to be charged with assault or worse. Ordinary officers in the police have got no chance at all. Whatever they do, they're criticised and vilified for it by people who are not in their situation and who couldn't cope if they were. When the rioting first broke out, if they'd gone in straight away and started cracking heads, the media would have been all over them for police brutality. They're not even allowed to carry guns except in special circumstances, even though gun crime is rampant in Britain. And in some places it seems like every second 14-year-old is walking around with a gun jammed into a belt worn halfway down to his knees. Indeed, the whole thing happened because the police shot dead a man who was pointing a gun straight at them, and this apparently inflamed local sensitivities, which is the worst crime you can commit as a policeman in modern Britain. The Social Justice Brigade have been quick to blame the rioting on the usual suspects, inequality, unfairness, lack of opportunity. This is happening, they say, because these youngsters are unemployed. No, it isn't. Who needs a job when you can deal drugs? That's where the real money is. And besides, if they had to look for employment, they might have to learn to read and write. OK, then it's happening because they're disengaged from society. Oh, are they? How awful for them. Hey, come to think of it, that might have something to do with all the drugs. A TV reporter actually stopped one of them in the street and asked him why he was doing it, and he replied, "I've got no money." And I thought, oh, isn't that awful? My heart goes out to the poor little lad. He's got no money because he spent all his money on a BlackBerry phone and a gram of heroin in it. You got money, you parasites. You get state benefits because other people work to pay for your room and board. You've got no job because you're unemployable, and that's because you're inadequate. You've got no backbone, no morals, no knowledge, no intelligence, and you can't be trusted. You're like rats who shit in their own nest, and you'll never make anything of yourselves because there's nothing there to begin with, and for that you can blame your stupid, ignorant parents, not your lack of opportunity. There are people on this planet who can only dream of your lack of opportunity, you disgusting parasitical half-wits. Go tell the starving people in Somalia that you've got no opportunity. Tell the 10-year-old in Pakistan making mud bricks for 18 hours a day for no pay. Tell these people that you have no opportunity, you pathetic, pampered human vermin. If we had any kind of justice system worth the name in this country, everyone connected with this riot, anyone convicted of taking part in this riot, would automatically lose entitlement to state benefit for life, and they would have their house demolished. Now that would be justice, and if it violated their human rights, hey, so much the better. However, what will happen, if past form is anything to go by, is that a few hundred dregs of society will go through the courts and get derisory sentences, while the rest of them take their new plasma TVs and go back to their normal lives, terrorising the people around them, which they can do because there's nobody there to stop them, and then everything will go back to normal for everyone except the victims, the people who've been murdered or who've been burned out of home and business because the police weren't there to protect them, because there aren't enough of them, and because they're not allowed to. Peace, that'll be the day.